Welcome students. Today I am going to explain about urban changes during the British period from history. Unit 7, Learning Objectives. Understand the growth and development of towns in ancient and medieval period. Analyze the nature and features of urbanization under the British period. Learn about the emergence of new urban centers such as cantonments, hill stations, and port cities. Trace the origin and growth of Madras, Chennai. Meaning, cantonment, a military station in British India. Urbanization, the process of making an area more urban. Municipality, a town or district that has local government. Dayachi, governed by two independent authorities. Re-Christian, give a new name to. Treasury, a place or building where treasure is stored. Ancient towns. In ancient times, towns emerged in and around of residential places of kings, and its location easily accessible to sea and rivers for trade. Most of them developed as administrative, religious, and cultural centers. Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Varanasi, Allahabad, and Madurai are well-known ancient towns. Medieval towns. During medieval times, most of the towns developed as headquarters of the principalities and kingdoms. They functioned either fort city or port city. Important among them are Delhi, Hyderabad, Jaipur, Lucknow, Agra, and Nagpur. Modern towns. With the arrival of Europeans, brought about new changes in the development of towns. They first developed some coastal towns such as Surat, Daman, Goa, and Pondicherry. The British, after consolidated their power in India, developed three main cities, Mumbai, Chennai, and Kolkata, as the administrative headquarters and trading centers. With the extension of domination, they developed new towns depending on its location, purpose, and resources. The newly developed towns are known differently as hill towns, industrial towns, court towns, railway station towns, cantonments, and administrative towns. Unique features of urbanization under the British. Deindustrialization. In the beginning of 18th century, the policies of British proved harmful to the process of urbanization. Later, the economic policies followed by the British led to the rapid transformation of India's economy into a colonial economy and development of cities. With the help of one-way free trade predominance of British, Indian manufacturing industries were destroyed. The effect of this wholesale destruction of the Indian manufacturing industries led to the ruin of the millions of artisans and craftsmen. There was a sudden collapse of the urban handicrafts industry, which had for centuries made India name in the market of the entire civilized world. Towns and cities long famed for their specialized products gaze continually shrinking market. As a result, old populous manufacturing towns such as Dhaka, Murshidabad, Surat, and Lucknow lost their previous importance. The traditional industrial base of Indian cities, made by the indigenous handicrafts, production was destroyed by industrial revolution. The high import duties and other restrictions imposed on the import of Indian goods into Britain and Europe led to the decline of Indian industries. Thus, India became the agricultural colony of British. Growth of new urban centers. British developed new centers of trade like Calcutta, Madras, and Bombay on the eastern and western coastal areas. Madras 1639, Bombay 1661, and Calcutta 1690. Cities which the British largely created and fortified. All those were earlier fishing and weaving villages. Here they built the homes, shops, and churches as well as their commercial and administrative headquarters. The British, coming from a cool temperature climate, found the hill stations protected from hot weather and epidemics. So they built up the alternative capitals in cool areas. So highly hills areas were distinctive features of colonial and urban development. The causes for the new trend of urbanization in the 19th century were opening of Suez Canal, introduction of steam navigation, construction of railways, canals, and harbors, growth of factory industries, etc. Since the British needed strong military camps and established the cantonment towns, army people began to live in these places and gradually they were grown up into a city. Example, Kanpur and Lahore. Colonial and urban development. Port cities. The British arrived in India for trading. Madras, Calcutta, and Bombay became the important ports. They played important role in trading. These cities became the prominent commercial areas with tall European style buildings. Fort St. George in Madras and Fort St. William in Calcutta were the best examples. Cantonment towns. British occupied the Indian territory and political power by their military force. So they needed strong military camps and establish the cantonments. For example, Kanpur, Lahore. Hill stations. Hill stations were distinctive features of colonial urban development. Although hill stations were not unknown prior to their founding by the British in India, they were few and had a small population and were often visited for specific purpose. For example, Srinagar was a Mughal recreational center. Kedarnath and Badrinath were Hindu religious centers. Railway towns. Railway towns were also a type of urban settlements and were established in 1853 after the introduction of railways by the British. By the nature of railway transport, all the towns were located on the plains. The development of local government in the British India may be traced in three distinct phases. First phase 1688 to 1882. Second phase 1882 to 1920. Third phase 1920 to 1950. First phase. Municipal government in India has been in existence since 1688 with the formation of Madras Municipal Corporation with a mayor, Sir Josiah Child, one of the directors of the East India Company, was responsible for the formation of the corporation. The Charter Act of 1793 established municipal administration in the three presidency towns. The Act of 1850 provided the formation of municipal northwestern frontier provinces, Oudh and Bombay. Second phase, Rippon's resolution on local self government was a landmark in the history of local self government. So, Rippon is rightly called the father of local self government in India. Third phase, the Government of India Act of 1919 introduced diarchy in the provinces. The Government of India Act of 1935 introduced provincial autonomy. With the attainment of independence in 1947, India had the unique opportunity of making and molding local government to meet the needs of the free nation. Origin and growth of Madras. The beginning of the city of Madras goes back to the earliest stages of British commercial enterprises in India. The English East India Company was started in 1600 AD. The English, after some efforts, secured the privilege of building a factory at Masulipatnam. It was well protected from the monsoon winds. The official grant for the land was given by Damarala Venkattapati Nayak, the deputy of Raja Chandragiri. Damarala gave British a piece of land between Ovam River and the Egmore. India Company's Francis Day, accompanied by his interpreter Berry Timapa and superior Andrew Cogan. By this, Francis Day and Andrew Cogan was granted permission to establish a factory, trading post, and a fort at Madrasapatnam in 1639. This fortified settlement came to be known as Fort St. George Settlement. It is otherwise referred to as the White Town, while the nearby villages inhabited by local population was called as Black Town. Collectively, the White Town and the Black Town were called Madras. India became an agricultural colony of Britain. In the beginning, the policies of the British proved harmful to the process of urbanization. Later, the economic policies followed by the British led to the rapid transformation of India's economy into a colonial economy and development of cities. The one-way free trade predominance of British Indian manufacturing industries were destroyed. There was a sudden collapse of the urban handicraft industry. Towns and cities, long famed for their specialized products, gazed continuously shrinking market. The manufacturing towns lost their previous importance. The Industrial Revolution, high import duties, and other restrictions imposed on the import of Indian goods into Britain and Europe led to the decline of Indian industries. Thus, India became the agricultural colony of Britain. The British Empire gradually consolidated and established an elaborate spatial structure of administration with an imperial capital, provincial capitals, and district headquarters. The new rulers brought new officials, new institutions, and new structure to these towns with a Kacheri cantonment, police station, jail, treasury, public garden, post office, schools, dispensary, and above all a municipal committee. Thus, in course of time, administrative headquarters emerged as the most important towns and cities of the country. For example, by the beginning of 20th century, Calcutta, Bombay, and Madras had become the leading administrative, commercial, and industrial cities of India. These cities became the central commercial area with buildings of European style. Suburban railways, tramcar, and city buses gave the colonial cities a new look and status.